Hello. Finally, I got this back corner of the garage somewhat cleaned. Initially, I was just wiping down these countertops, just taking a brush and floor broom actually that's hanging up there, and just brushing them off. And I realized that they were just nasty. I don't think they've been wiped off since we bought the property 3-4 years ago. And things are just moved in here and just gotten worse. I moved all this stuff off the counter, made this cart from one of the work tables from the previous videos. I added the wood going this way, and then to put the shelf, and also so I could put the casters, and I wanted the casters a little bit more out than the legs would have provided. I don't like the top of this, that press stuff, so that may get changed. None of that is screwed on there because I want my husband to be in on that. His router, or his mom's router, and his chainsaw and trash bags. I'm not sure where to put those trash bags yet. But this rolls around. I brought the red toolbox that were on the opposite corner from here. So that one has mainly mechanical stuff, sockets and tools and wrenches and automobile stuff. There's air filter, things for the tractor too. And this one mainly has electrical things. My husband can do electrical work. He doesn't do it professionally. He was an electrician's mate in the Navy, and he's kept up with it, and he's a smart guy. If you watch what he did with our solar power system at the other place, he knows what he's doing. He's definitely not a jack of all trades, a master of none. He definitely has that mastered along with a couple of other areas. So that's that saying doesn't apply to him. But in order to use this area, I had all these different fuel containers up here. Diesel for the truck, gasoline, chainsaw, two-cycle engine fuels. I'm not going to be able to get a good shot of this area because I can't get into that corner well, not with the tripod anyway. And so all this stuff was like in 4 different areas in the garage, but a lot of them were right there where those toolboxes are now. There's the kerosene heater, our kerosene containers, our diesel can containers, gasoline. Let's see, that one had diesel in it before we got the diesel ones. And then on the top, I made this, I measured out the area, and I made this, the rack for the shelving unit with the 2x3s from the former wood coop. So I didn't have to cut the vertical pieces at all, and cut 2 of the 6-foot pieces. So there's like 3 feet. I didn't even measure this way. I grabbed some scrap plywood. I didn't even I didn't even bother cutting that because this isn't permanent. I do have it screwed in over here there's no wobble. This thing is not going to shake. And I didn't need it to be as deep as I made this, but this works out. And it can become something else, or something better can come in here. I do have some stainless steel restaurant type shelves that are 2 foot by 4 foot, which is kind of, this is 2 foot deep. So it would fit in here, but it would cover the window. So I'm just kind of playing around with different ideas. But for now, this is where they're all in one place. Every time I was finding something that was fuel related, like that stuff up there, I had a place to bring them. So most of yesterday and a good bit of today so far has been spent cleaning and arranging and doing stuff in here. Okay, and those work lights, they're great. They're really bright. They're too bright, and you get really hot under here. The one on the wall, the plug makes it down to the outlet that we can plug into. It don't have an on-off light switch. So you have to plug it in, plug it out. They'll be great for bonfire nights when it's too dark, and we can set them up in locations with some extension cords. But I've got some or those goosenecks, office desk lamps that you can position. I've got several of those. I'm going to bring them in here and set them up in places with some 60 watt equivalent LED bulbs in there that's not going to heat up and be a lot more energy efficient than those lights or that light. I replaced that one. In the previous video I showed what happened to its cord. And I put mine up there, and I replaced, bought another one to replace this one. And then at auction I got 4 more. And with the little clamps on the back so you can clip them on places. So I can also use them for lights, but I've got the goosenecks and they're going to stay in place. And those are going to be good for just other uses when I just need to clamp onto a work site. So if you notice this, a couple of weeks ago, 12 days to be precise, I came in here and I had a great time. I ripped down 9 8-foot long 2x4s, did it here. Since then I've learned some a different way. Before I did that, I made that jig. Go ahead and laugh, it's okay. It worked, it helped. I also used the sawhorse at the beginning, and with that wedged in there, I was able to put the 2x4 on that at the beginning and push it through. And with that 5th leg on the table saw, it worked great. I was able to, feed it onto this roller, and I just did all of them. And then I moved them over here where I was storing the 2x4s originally before I made that rack. So I was able to bring over the 2x2 that was cut, and then put the larger other half. Ooh, that sounded close. The other half over there, and then when I moved to those Craig finger guides to do the smaller cuts, I then did them. So it took 18 cuts to make the 18 2x2s, and that left me with a bunch of I don't know if you can see it without the glare, but those long pieces are the strips that was left in the middle. And then using this miter saw at a 45-degree angle, I had it positioned that way. I can do that, but I think y'all can imagine that. I was able to cut these. Then turned it over and cut these. I positioned, I'll talk about that later. I positioned a block down there, and that put it at 24 inches exactly, 2 feet. And using that to kind of hold that down, and then using this over here on this place to hold it down, and making sure everything was lined up. And I was able to cut these 2-foot long pieces really easily. So I did all that, and then using this rolling, it's really a mechanics rolling table, but I brought this from our building. So that was nice, because this way I didn't have to walk across, and when I go to paint this, I can just roll this all into when we're going to paint it. And then I cut 4 of these. 4 foot long. I cut enough of these. So this, to do the panels I need, so this is a new design. Instead of the way I was screwing the corners together, now I'm going to have them at the bevel at the 45-degree angle, and they won't have any twist to them because there's just one screw in there. And button them up against the ends. They would twist sometimes until you get the hardware cloth or paneling put in that went with them. I really, really despise being wasteful, so I always try to find uses. So I am going to make another push tool, push stick, another, what do you want to call it, to push. I need to rabbet all these. So I will make a push stick that will have this and rabbet. So now we get to the interesting part. I don't think I'm going to show you my fingers. They're okay. This isn't gross. You won't see the wounds. The two fingers here got injured. They're swollen. I don't know if you could. You don't. They look swollen too. But anyway, I was making a rabbit, and this is what's really weird. I cannot find the piece that the rabbit was cut out of. It is gone. My husband didn't do anything with it. I have looked all over. When I injured myself, I immediately stopped, and I went inside and cleaned up and bandaged and, you know, took care of everything. I didn't go to the hospital. It's healing nicely. It's like I said, it's been 12 days since I've done it. And I only got back into the garage yesterday. My husband's been down here. I asked him to come out here and lock everything up for the night because I didn't come back out. And he doesn't know what happened to it. He didn't do anything with it. But I am somehow, the piece that rolled on me is out. And it took me a couple of days before I could even watch woodworking videos. I was watching comedy, just trying to distract myself and just take care of that. I was limited. I'm still limited on what I can do with my left hand. And if it goes anything like the pinky, where I had the stitches on my pinky a couple of months ago, it'll be another couple of weeks before I can start doing any real therapy and moving them. I can't straighten them out. And the wounds are on the insides, bottom. So, you know, if anything touches along that or that, it's painful. So I'm having to do things one-handed or not at all, or getting help, and that's been very humbling. And I am still so fortunate that was all the damage I got. I didn't even have to go to the emergency room or urgent care or to the doctors yet. So, that being said, I'm learning more, and there's also kickback with the router, so cutting this out of the corners, I think I'm still going to be better off doing it on the table saw. And then I'm going to hand plane them down before I paint them and assemble them. So I have to do this because I've got to get my chickens moved. I've got to, if you watch my other videos, I got 2 chickens that's gone broody. So in 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks, they will need to be in the nursery run. I've got 6 big, I think they're Cornish crosses or cross with Cornish crosses. They're growing way faster than the other chickens. They need to get out. They're 8 weeks now, so I can change their diet. They don't need to stay on chick starter, and that will free up the room in there. But I need to finish replacing the wooden chicken coop I took down, so that's got to be done. So I've got to do this because my husband doesn't really have the time, and I've talked about in other videos, he works hard all through the week. He's putting in long hours. He's putting in a lot of stress. And here's the funny thing, and he knows this. He took Monday off as a vacation, and he didn't do half of what he planned on doing on that day. You know, just stuff around the house, stuff he wanted to do. And he kind of he relaxed, and that was fine. I was like, that's fine. He watched videos and how-tos and stuff. And then Tuesday, when he went back to work, there was a problem from last week that was really bothering him, and they couldn't solve it. And he went in and he figured it out because he took that time to rest and be smart. He's today our son called, and he wanted to go to Table Rock for the day and take his nephews, our grandsons, with him, and wanted my husband to go with him, his dad, so that they could. I was like, yeah, go. You know, he knew it was coming. It's funny. He's a grumpy old man, and if someone calls needing help, he has a better attitude about going out and helping somebody. You know, emergency situation just called. Then if someone calls him up and go, let's go do something fun. He's like, I don't want to leave the house. I just wanted to do this. And I was like, it's like, they're asking you to go out and have fun. Go. So I help him pack snacks and gave him a case of water to take. And they're still going to spend his money on food on the trip, I'm sure, but he's got all sorts of goodies in the car with him. But even if that kind of stuff didn't come up, he's got projects he can't get to, and I'm not going to dump my projects on him. Only stuff I dump on him are stuff that's beyond my ability. Like electrical, I would not, but I'm going to tackle that. Oh my God. I'm not going to change my channel to accident-prone Vivian, and that's not going to happen. And there's not going to be any more accidents this year. No more, nothing serious, nothing more than a trip and a fall, nothing, you know, that I can bounce back from. But this is, oh my, that first week, every time, that it was a mild form of PTSD. Just watching, the first time I watched a video with someone with the table saw and they had their guard off. And of course you can't have a guard and cut rabbits like this. You can't cut rabbits at all, I don't think, because the wood gets in the, hits the splitter. Riving blade. I've been watching videos. It's like I know what to do now. Safer ways to do it, but still, it really bugs me. What I have cleaned, I have looked everywhere for that board. I mean, okay, this is a mess over here because I was moving everything that didn't belong in the cabinets and shelves in here in the garage. So I'll get to that and reorganize all that when I get to assembling these. The paint is already here. Got a good deal. It's kind of a grayish. It's an outdoor paint. Got a really good deal, $9 for a can that's $32 or $35 normally. So not complaining. I got that at auction, some more tools. And what was funny back to my accident from a couple of weeks ago, I have this rule that no power tools besides my drill. I mean, that's the only power tool I will use after 4 p.m. That's just a rule, because by then I need to just, 4 o'clock is when I should shut down, clean up, put everything away, start dinner if I hadn't already started it. You know, that's just the rule I had from way back when I did my redneck kitchen remodel. That day I stopped for my lunch at 3 p.m. and I sat down inside. I ate. I felt good. I felt motivated. I had finished ripping all these down to into 2x2s, and I felt good. I was like, okay, so I'm going to come down here. And I didn't think about it. I probably finished about 3:30. It takes me about half an hour to fix and eat lunch and just relax it a little bit and come back. I didn't even think about it. You know, got half an hour and I started. And then I started cutting these bevels, these 45-degree angles. And it was like, oh, kind of, and just, I was in the flow. I was picking them up from there, putting them up here. And it just became that I got into flow of it. And then I thought, I should, I'm going to try this. And then it happened. It was at 5:30 when it happened. I totally lost track of time and broke my most cardinal rule of stopping at 4. No matter what, it's not about being tired. I had enough sense to know that if I'm tired, I would have stopped. I felt great. Maybe too good. I was like, oh, I'm getting this done. I felt such a sense of accomplishment, and boom. First thing I did yesterday when I came back to the garage was to bring that clock and hang it up. I'm going to have a sign, or I'm going to get something in red. I only have the black magic markers, and I wanted it in red to mark out from 4 with the circular arrow pointing that way. No power tools for Vivian. Or put a big sign up there, no power tools after 4. So I did that. I was actually bidding, that Monday, I was actually bidding on clocks, so I would have one for the garage. And I won 2 clocks at auction. I also won some push sticks and some other stuff, because I had safety on my mind. It was on there, I didn't listen, and I broke that cardinal rule. And it's normally a bunch of stuff. It's never just one thing, but that one thing has kept me safe all these years. You know, and definitely if you're tired, you don't mess with power tools. You just don't. You just, it's just not worth it. Wait till you're in the right, you know, you're feeling okay. So I may just forego cutting the rabbets, but I think I've figured out a way to do it safely. I really do want to do the rabbits, but this is for my own use. It doesn't have to look so pretty. So I may just go ahead and paint these and get these out there so I can get those chickens moved, and then get ready for the other chickens in less than 3 weeks to have their eggs. I want to move them in a week to 2 weeks, get them moved into the brooding coop, which isn't finished. You know, I didn't quite finish that one up either. Is it like that for y'all? I mean, you watch videos and it's like, some of it's done to the level of better than TV shows. And these people come in and you see this horrible, horrible garage. And I need to work on the editing software. And you see everything is a mess, or, you know, things aren't, they don't even, you know, have walls, and then they do time lapse, or they show you before and afters, and it just seems like magic. Boom, it's done. This has taken me 6 days, 5-6 days, and I'm talking at least 6 hours on those days to come in here and do stuff. I found saw blades. The 10-inch goes to, will fit that chop saw and our table saw. So, but I'm not going to be changing them all out that often. It was difficult for my husband to do it. I don't think we've lost a little Allen wrench or whatever that may have came with our table saw, the Hitachi one. So doing that, I mean, and even when they tell you it took them so many hours, so many days, most of them don't tell you that. It's like, you know, they had friends come over. I've yet to have a friend come over and help me with my garage. Okay, it's not happened. But I don't remember going and helping anybody with their garage, even a regular garage, just organizing it so that they can get their car pulled in. So I'm not really throwing stones on that. But I have been working my butt off. It is starting to get hot. This is South Carolina, and it's weltering today. But I wanted to get this video out before I finished the last thing on the chicken coop, the metal chicken coop and its run. I got one more piece to add on to it, and then I'm done, and maybe I don't have to lock them up tonight. But I'm just gonna get back on that horse. I'm not gonna get kicked off again. You know, so looking at this, you know that it's not that bad, but I mean, I can't look at it myself. I'm not going to, I've taken pictures of it, and it's kind of weird because I was like, okay, I know where the camera is angled, and I was like, flip my hand real quick and take a picture and not even look at what I took a picture of, just so that one day when I can look at it, I can see it and go, oh my God, it wasn't that bad, or it was really bad, or whatever. So getting out here, I didn't need the table saw. I just used the chop saw yesterday, and I mainly used the little one since I was only doing the 2x3 boards. And the stuff inside there is what I want at auction: a push stick and guards for a Ryobi table saw, and 2 push sticks, and the miter bar. Because I was hoping to use that miter bar with my bandsaw. I've still not powered that on, but I will. enough of this. I need to fix a hose. I love this stuff, this flex tape. Oh my gosh. I need to buy stock in this. I'm going to start pushing this. I'm not, okay, nothing's been sponsored. None of my videos are sponsored by anybody but my husband and me. But I'm going to fix a hose and take care of the last part that a critter could get through in the run. So thanks for joining me. Be safe. If you have rules like that, what do you do? You know, I'm seriously thinking about setting my timer to go off at 4 to, it's like, okay, stop. Because even with the clock up there, I may not be conscious of it because I get in the flow of stuff. And it was really mesmerizing. It was really, like I said, it was really in the flow of things, just doing it and doing it and doing it, and then going, oh, I could do this. And then, yeah, then I had that accident. And oh, I added that it's a dryer pipe down to the bottom, but I also need to do something else because it's still, I did that before I had my accident, and I was ripping all that stuff. I did some more cleaning before I did all of that. That's why everything was kind of later in the day. But I duct taped that just to get that, but it's really spitting out sawdust from all underneath the actual table. Underneath there's like a gap, 3/4 inch or almost an inch gap in there. And you see a little bit of foam. I was thinking about trying that, but I hadn't tested that yet, so that'll be another video. I'll end it here. It's gone on too long. Thanks for joining me. Please pray that I stay safe. No more stupidity, no more stupid stuff, no more losing track of time. And I pray that y'all be blessed. Be a blessing and be blessed.